has to be a virus. I mean, his computer's probably still logged on.
I wasn't even hooked up to the internet last night. The cable was unplugged.
They're everywhere. They come through anything with electricity. They're gonna kill all of us.
Hello everyone. I hope you liked that clip from the 2006 movie, The Pulse. Well, that's supposed to instill a little bit of fear about our topic, technology. And while all technology isn't a terrible, terrible thing, there are quite a few articles that are arguing that technology can have its negative effects on our children and what we should be doing. I'm going to start off with an article from this year, June 25th, 2017. This one, smartphones make his kids moody, withdrawn. And this article focuses on the Colorado dad and Denver area anesthetologist. So that means he knows something about effects of drugs and that sort of thing on people, not just children. His name is Tim Farnham, and he understands that technology, smartphones, tablets, unfettered internet access connects to faraway corners of the world. However, when given to his children, which you can see in the picture on the article, they have become less sociable, more moody, withdrawn. They go to their bedrooms, hide away, and if you threaten to take away their technology, they freak out. I kind of like how he talked about it, but also he was a little extreme, like The Pulse. He said their temper tantrum can be described as equivalent to withdrawals from a crack addict. I'm not so sure about that. They are pretty violent, but what Tim needs to keep in mind is that kids, even as young as 11, 12, 13, due to like growth hormone in the milk and other things in their social interactions, they become this moody because they're experiencing adolescence at a younger age than what we're used to. So this 11, 12-year-old reaction is more that of a teenager going through their adolescent change and becoming that moody, withdrawn at an earlier age. What he was proposing was his nonprofit group, PAUS, standing for Parents Against Underage Smartphones. And he wants the government to step in and remove the use of these smartphones. Granted, you should have connection with your kids. You shouldn't have them on the internet at all times, talking with their friends, doing various things where they could go to websites that aren't the greatest. And while I'd agree with that, there's so many apps out there that can protect kids from the violence of the internet. We want them to be sociable, so we want them to connect with their friends, but we also want them to put down the phones to not hurt their eyes, like our parents said when we watched television.
You know I'm here today. Do you? I'm here because Mr. Ryan found a gun in the locker.
Should Mr. Ryan or the administration have done random locker searches or strategic locker searches of troubled students? I don't know, but that's sort of the idea of the article that we're going to talk about next, from March 3rd of this year. Seizure of students' phones, Wade. In this article, it talks about a new bill that was proposed, which would empower school administration to search mobile devices under limited circumstances, which would be reasonable suspicion a student has violated educational policy, or the risk imminent personal injury to themselves or others. And this bill has already received support of the American Civil Liberties Union of Connecticut. So, now I'd like any opinion that you can give me in the comments down below. Do you think that students high school age younger deserve their privacy? Is it okay that even with the caveat of having that suspicion, administration can search lockers and make sure everything is copacetic, everyone is safe, and following policy? What if you found out that your classmate next to you stole a test and is going to ace just because they stole? Where you're working your butt, you aren't allowed to be part of your sports team because you've fallen behind and need the extra time to study. Or you can't go to the party because you know you have to study. Things that you're missing out on, they don't have to because they stole. Or like in another scene of The Breakfast Club, they had a gun. It was a flare gun, but it was a gun nonetheless, that Brian was planning to do a not-so-good thing to himself. Should the locker search policy go the same hand in hand with a phone search policy? Did you know that the minimum age to open an account on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, Kik, and Snapchat is 13? But it's so easy nowadays to sign up for any of these websites, provided you're old enough to know your subtraction and know how to make yourself older than 13. Or I believe it has a drop-down menu, and as soon as you hit that bottom number, you know that's the appropriate age to be. So parents should definitely watch out for their underage kids joining these groups. I don't understand why you would need that when the things that you need to share with your friends should be out in the world, in public. Your soccer team, your field hockey, anything of that kind. But the article that I want to talk about next has to do with social media with college-aged individuals. A college social media warning. And what I like about this article, yes, there's more of it, it states that college admissions do actually look at your posts. Harvard rescinded acceptances for at least 10 prospective students because of sexually explicit memes and messages, sometimes targeting minority groups in a private Facebook group chat, according to the Hartford Crimson, which is the student-run newspaper. And I thought that was great because lately we've been seeing a lot from Harvard, Ivy League colleges, universities, and that sort of thing that states they don't really care about this stuff, but in actuality, this shows they do. Parents will call in and say, I want to learn more about the student my child is going to be rooming in for the next school year. I want to know that they're good, kind individuals, that there's not going to be any issues, because to move in with somebody is really to become family with them. And you want to make sure that you mesh well. And if you're living far away when your student travels to live on campus, then there's no way you can come in for every little thing that upsets them. So you want to make sure that they feel comfortable, not only in their own skin, but in their own living space and with whom they're living. The article does go on with a few more admissions consultants and what they've said, and a couple of statistics. Kaplan Test Prep released a survey showing that 35% of admissions offices surveyed 365 colleges, said they check an applicant's social media, such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, The National Association for College Administration Counseling says that between a quarter and a third of colleges revoke offers of admissions for one reason or another. And some say that these offensive posts are just teachable moments, but you have to think that once you're in college, you're a young adult. You should be held responsible for what you say and do, and you want to act professional in a professional setting. Even though some students wear pajamas to class, you are now an adult. You need to dress the part for what you want to be. The last piece of advice from this article that I wanted to share that I thought was kind of funny, as long as your grandparents are the old school kind of sweet, do you want a cookie type of grandparents. Janet Rosier, a college admissions consultant based in Westport, states, follow the grandma rule. In social media posting, if this would make your grandmother blush, or if you don't want future employers to see it, think twice. Students, if you can't wrap your head around the fact that some of the things that you share can be damaging to your future career, why don't you think about what this article has to say? When parents embarrass you on social media. And this January 11th article talks about how your parents can be posting things that you don't want shared. So what the author, Andrea Sulek, describes is, put somebody else into your shoes type of thing. Oh, my friend had such and such happen. How do you suggest we handle that for her type deal? And what I really like of this answer, explain your network includes more formal contacts like coworkers, bosses, or people you'd like to impress someday. So when your parents share a baby nude photograph of you, or make an embarrassing joke about something that you've done, it's affecting your future. Well, that wraps up another section of technology articles. I still have a bunch to share with you from a lot older than just January of this year. So, if you liked it and you'd like to see a little bit more, please click that subscribe button down below. Leave your comments about any of the articles we've discussed or anything that it made you think of. And I hope to see you next time.